Now we are going to be looking at the heel rise resistance. So here I have the heel rise resistance turned all the way down to 0 just so that we can see the differences. Again, this should be how much is that foot rising, how much is that heel rising at my toe off, at my terminal stance point. And you can see obviously a 0. And now we've changed that adjustment up to 100. You can see the noticeable change in how the knee is swinging, how my foot is swinging. Obviously, this isn't very comfortable, so we'll go back down to about 40, and this is where, I probably want to dial it in a little bit more, but this is showing where now I'm comfortable and feeling good and confident with that heel rise. Now we're looking at swing extension resistance, which again is that resistance right there of how fast is that knee going to swing out in front of you. Right now I have that resistance down to 0, so it swings out quick. As we ran through and go up to 100, you'll see the difference, but that's what we're looking at, is how far and how fast is that knee swinging out in front of you. So again, here we're at 0, so that means there is no resistance on the knee. And then we will make our switch. Now we are at 100. You can see that's not comfortable for me either, because now the knee really isn't getting out in front of me. The foot is really short. See, that is not a comfortable way for me to walk. So we will dial back down to where we were at about 55. And now I'm getting that comfortable stride again. That is my more natural gait. Okay, now we are looking at stance extension resistance, which before we were talking about swing extension. That is when the foot is actively in the swing part of the gait. Stance is whenever the foot is on the ground and weighted. So as I get, through my gait and heel strike, now I'm transitioning. You want to get the stance knee flexion that gives you this little bit of shock to absorption at your knee. That is our natural gait pattern. But then this extension controls how easy it is for you to push back to extension to get over. So right now I have it at 0. That's why there's no resistance there. It's kind of easy for me to push back, but we'll see as I start walking with it a little bit more. Again, we're at 0. So you can kind of see how that extension is adjusting. And then we will ramp up to 100 now. And you can see, maybe this one is a little bit harder to see, but I can tell you in my hip, I am doing a lot more now to push back to extension, right? That heel strike is there, but I have to really force it back here to get the knee to go into a release and swing. So a lot of times when I'm talking to people that are struggling on the Quattro, it's because this resistance is too high and they can't get back to full extension to get that knee to release and swing. If I don't get back to full extension there, you can see I'll release there. Now let's just try to stay off it. So I'm gonna there. And there you go. So you see, I didn't get back to full extension. There I did. But not getting back to full extension, then that knee won't release. And so that is the resistance that you want to mess with as we go back down to my normal spot. So now back down. You can see it's easy for me to get back to that extension, but I really don't have to do a lot of work at my hip to push me back to that. I just feel comfortable. I get that nice shock absorption. So playing with these resistances really is helpful in helping the end user understand what's going on. But also if you're the clinician going through this knee or any knee for the first time, I do recommend going through all of the settings and doing what I just did. Ramping it down to 0, then up to 100, let the user feel what those changes are like, and then dial in from there. And you oftentimes can get a much more comfortable natural gait a little bit faster, get that knee a little bit more optimized.